Bridget and Dawn. Please like, subscribe, and share.
What's up, everybody? Happy New Year and welcome back. Welcome back. What's going on, Bridge?
What's up? Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you. Um, we took 3 weeks off. We ain't never done that.
I know.
I don't even know what to say right now. We
back.
3 weeks off. But we are back. Get ready for an explosive year, everybody. So if it's your first time tuning in, thanks so much for tuning in. If you're returning, we appreciate you. So we're gonna talk about a couple of things. Let's jump right into it. So everybody has their New Year's resolutions, and everybody has their dreams and aspirations for the year. So the one thing I want to talk about is not letting anyone project their fears onto you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know, like, when you were building your business, when you first decided, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna jump out of the workforce and I'm gonna do my own thing. Did you have anybody that kind of just tried to project their fears? Oh, you can't do that because they've never done it.
I had people question why. It wasn't necessarily people close to me. It was people that I work with at my job, because they're like, I worked in accounts receivable, so they're like, why would you stop doing this and become a hairstylist? And I'm just like, whatever. But honestly, I'm not gonna lie. I think my family has always been supportive. Specifically my mother. I don't think it's anything that I could say like I want to do and my mom won't believe in me. I think my mom believes that I can do anything.
Wow,
So
that's good.
Yeah, I'm very grateful for my mother, and I feel like she is my number one supporter. I feel like no matter what I do in life, she supports me. And she believes in me. You know what I'm saying? She's definitely not one of those people that, you know what I'm saying? Like she's never been against me going against the grain. You know what I'm saying? But I have seen other people's parents, or people around them, instill fear in them to make them doubt, going against the grain, doing something different that's not normal. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like the average thing to do, but yeah, I don't know. I think when it comes to that, it's one of those moments where it's like people say something can't be done until it's done. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Yeah. So have you ever experienced that, Dawn?
So I've experienced it twice.
Okay.
When I started my jewelry business, I was passing out flyers because I don't have money for commercials, so I'm out there. This is before social media got as big as it is right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm out passing out flyers, and my boys literally laughed at me like, this will never work. Like, this will never happen for you.
Yeah.
And I'm sitting there looking at them like, yo, like, y'all should be on my team. Y'all should be like, saying, go, Don, go. Let's do this.
Mm-hmm.
And they were, literally laughed in my face until it took off.
Yeah.
And I started making money. And then it was like, yo, how can I get down with you? You can't.
Right.
You can't. You know what I'm saying? Find your dream. Do whatever your dream is. And then when I went into bartending for a little while, and my boy was like, you've never done this. You know what I'm saying? You've never been to bartending school. And I'm like, yo, you pour a damn drink. Like, how freaking hard can it be?
Mm-hmm.
And it was another one of my friends that was letting me work inside his bar. And my close friend was instilling so much fear or projecting so much fear that my other friend was like, maybe I shouldn't let you do this. You know what I'm saying? I don't want you coming in and messing up my spot. I'm like, why would I come in and mess up your business? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But because the person who was trying to project, because they've never done it or they never thought about doing it, they were quick to saying it can't, like you said, it can't be done until it is done. And I think a lot of times people either are scared to try, so they project that fear onto you because they think, if I'm scared to try and I can't make it, you can't possibly do it. Or they're scared of your success. They're
Right.
scared of you succeeding at something they were scared of doing.
Yeah.
So, and I know like right now everybody has their New Year's resolution, whether it be quitting drinking or I'm gonna quit smoking or I'm gonna go ahead and hit the gym.
Hmm.
I don't care what you aspire to do this year or going forward. First of all, be careful of who you tell your dreams to, because some people
Right.
are dream killers. Um, they'll project so much that you'll start doubting yourself. Uh,
Yeah. Or they're really preying on your downfall.
yeah, definitely preying on your downfall.
Hmm.
Be careful who you tell your dreams to. And one of my biggest things this year is to move more and speak less.
Yeah.
So just make moves. I'm not going to keep telling everybody, "Oh, this is what I decided to do. This is what I want to do." I'm gonna have a core group of people who I can confide in, who I can tell, this is what I plan on doing. But it's got to be somebody who's like minded.
Right.
There's a
I,
couple of things that I plan on doing this year that I really am really cautious. I'm like, I'm keeping it close to the hip because I don't want anybody to kill my dream.
right. Yeah, I think even with that whole thing, I feel like, I did have a conversation with it was actually two of my clients. It's so crazy because they're both having the same exact issue. I'm like, you and my other client, y'all living the same lives. And they're two
Wow.
young girls, they're 21 years old, and they are in their career. The one is in her career somewhat, but she's still in school, but the other one is a full-blown nurse, and
Hmm.
it's like she make really good money to be 21 years old, got her own place, all of that. And it's crazy because both of their, they come to me and they're telling me about their dudes, and they're like, he's not doing enough, like, and it's because they have overachieved at such a young age, right? And
Yeah.
so now they're looking at these 21-year-old young men, like they're supposed to be highly successful and stuff. And then they end up telling me, both of them, somehow, because they're both of them are not mentioning this little piece, and both of them end up telling me towards the end that both of the dudes are into music, and I'm like, well, that's the thing with music. It's like it's one of those things that you're taking a risk, and I'm like, y'all are, I get it, because it's not something that is like, it's not an overnight success. It's not instant gratification. But
Hmm.
it's something you take a risk on. And I'm like, if they were to ever pursue music in their life, it would be at this age, at 21 years old.
Yeah. That's the
So
best
it's one
time.
of those, yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, if you see, and I asked both of them, like, are they good? Like, do you like their music? Yeah, I like it. Well, it's one of those moments where you're gonna have to be patient. You know what I'm saying? To see if,
Hmm.
I say, now if they're not doing anything and not actively working on their music and stuff like that, then okay, yeah, I can understand that. But when somebody is an artist, you that's something that's different, and everyone is not going to understand people who take different lanes like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So it was just me basically telling both of them that, I think you're being a little hard on them because they are young and they trying to pursue music, and it's not something that happens overnight. Now I'm like, if I'm not telling you to wait around for 10 years and they'll never make it, you know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Of course it has to be, it has to be goals when it comes to it, if they are being serious about it. But I'm like, it's something that you have to be patient. And I tell other like entrepreneurs, like I know some barbers, one of my clients, she's a barber, and one of my esthetician, I tell all of us, like, we literally are, we can't compare ourselves to everybody else. You know what I'm saying? No one
Right.
knows what it's like to pour into a business, so everyone's not gonna understand, like, you have to live, you going to live a different life than most people, like, and it takes a different type of sacrifice, but I don't think, if people ain't willing to sacrifice things in your life to make a dream come true, you can't tell me nothing about myself. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Um, but yeah, people definitely project. People think that, oh, you gotta go to school or you gotta go to the military. You know what I'm saying? If you don't do these things, but it's like, it's mad people that are talented. Like, I'm pretty sure it's somebody called Oprah crazy, but Oprah is a
Right.
multi-billionaire.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
imagine if Oprah would have listened to people that doubted her, a
And
multi-billionaire. You know what I'm
she
saying?
got
So
fired from a position in
exactly. Imagine
television.
it, someone like, oh, you're nothing. Let me fire you, and her giving up on something
Right.
that she knew deep down inside. Like, um. So I think I don't know. I feel like anytime people bring up any idea, like, oh, I'm thinking about doing this, I'm thinking about doing that, I'm like, do it. I'll be helping them look up stuff.
Give it a
Like,
try.
yeah. I don't think it's
Um,
nothing is impossible.
no, it's not.
Nothing is impossible.
The only thing that makes it impossible is not trying it.
Right.
Like you will miss 100% of the shots you don't take.
Yep.
Just try it. Like, I watched a pastor one time, and he was like, try it and fail. He was like, even if you fail, you can still check that off the I tried it list.
Right.
He's like, but if you're just gonna stare at that list forever and never attempt anything on it, you're constantly failing. Every time you look at that list and you don't do anything, you're failing. He's
Right.
like, so at least try. If you try and you fail, fine. Now you
Right.
know, okay, I can't. This didn't work. On to the next part of the list. But
Yeah.
When I got into the jewelry business, two foreigners helped me out. Um, I was on it going this far back. I was on AOL Instant Messenger. I was in one of the chat rooms and I was talking to a bunch of dudes from overseas. And this dude in Saudi Arabia, he was like, I was like, yeah, I'm really interested in jewelry or whatever. And nightly, we would get on there and he would explain diamonds to me and all of this. And I was like, yeah, I want to get into this business. And he was like, do it.
Yeah.
He was like, I have the diamonds. You just get the customers and I'll make the jewelry and send it. And at first, of course, you think everybody's a scam. I'm like, come on, this is some like why would you help me out?
Right.
Until he sent me jewelry on consignment for me to get started on.
Oh wow.
And then this other Arab dude in New York, he taught me how to make the molds to do the gold teeth. He made gold teeth. He was like, you make the mold, you send it to me, I'll make the gold teeth and send it back to you. So all of my friends laughed at me for getting into it. Two people who I didn't know was like, we'll help you get on. So you just need to, even in music is one of the industries, you just got to be at the right place at the right time for the right thing to happen. But you got to be serious, like you said. Like you can't be sitting inside the studio and you don't put $200-300 in the studio time and you sitting there smoking weed.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You got to really get in there and get serious. Like you got to go in there. And if these young men, hopefully they are serious, their women have to understand, like, this is not a blink and things happen. It's that right song that gets that catchy tune that everybody's like, that's it. And then you take off.
Yeah. And even with like being a hairstylist, like when people be saying like a lot of the times your biggest supporters is not the people that's around you, like that's a fact.
Nope.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like some of my most loyal clients is people that I met, you know what I'm saying? It's people that I'm related to that they could literally come to me or bring their kids to me and they literally go with somebody else, you know what I'm saying? And for whatever reasons, I'm not mad at it, you know what I'm saying? Because I built my clientele, so even if your friends, your family, whatever you're trying to do ain't supporting you, it's gonna be somebody out there that is gonna believe in you and support you, and they're gonna see like everything coming to fruition, so sometimes it's sad to say you really don't need the people around you, to believe in you. I'm not gonna say you don't need no support at all, you know what I'm saying, but a lot of times the support's not gonna come from those people, and if anything, those will be the ones that's like, she ain't gonna make it, they might not tell you that, you know what I'm saying, but they're down to you, and then you might get to a point where they can't afford you, you know what I'm saying? So
Exactly.
it is what it is.
Think about that.
Yeah.
And when you step off into that realm, when you decide this is what I want to do, and you make that move, just keep moving. Don't make the move and then look for people to say, okay, you're doing well. Just keep moving.
Yeah.
Like I'm pretty sure when you started out, it was not an easy road. You know what I'm saying? Like you got to think about, if I don't work, I don't get paid. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's not like I got sick time, vacation time. You know what I'm saying? If I take a day off, I still get paid. If you take a day off, you don't get paid for that day.
Yep.
So you just got to understand um, that when you move in the direction that you had in your mind in the beginning, and just keep pushing through.
Yeah.
Um, but it's definitely, most people have the workout goal in January. Oh, I'm gonna get my body together. I'm gonna work out, and either they find somebody else that's willing to do something else, and they go with them, or somebody tells them, "Oh, you tried that last year and you didn't work either." Um, I don't care how many times you try something. If you're still willing to try and you still see a path to success,
Right.
jump back on that path.
Yeah.
Um, like nobody has ever ran without falling.
Right.
Sometimes you gotta take a couple of falls, you bruise up your knees, you get up and you keep moving. Um, like like me and you talked about the whole tax thing. Oh, it's not easy owning a business. It's not
Mm-hmm.
easy. You know what I'm saying? You got everybody looking at you like you got to do this. It's not like you get a paycheck and they already took the tax out. You got to
Right.
sit down and write everything down. It's not easy. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah. No.
nothing that you really want is easy. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right. Hey.
Hey, hey.
I think but I also think though too, when you're chasing a dream, um be excited for even the little wins,
Mm-hmm.
because I feel like sometimes you get so far, and you start to accomplish so much that you really don't reflect on how much you actually accomplished, because you're still worried about, well, what's next? What can I do
Yeah.
more? You know what I'm saying? I think that I was like that. I know other entrepreneurs that be like that. And I'm like, how many, like, you went and started a business, you've been operating your salon suite for 2 years. It's some people that wouldn't last 2 weeks, couldn't have the rent for
Right.
2 weeks. The fact that you can maintain your bills and rent for a salon suite and operate a whole business for 2 years, that is an accomplishment. You know what I'm saying? You might have been doing that in the basement somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Or like I used to do hair in the kitchen. So I think sometimes when you do start to accomplish the things that you once dreamed of, sometimes it's hard to really take it in and acknowledge, like, dang, like I really came a long way. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But instead of just always focusing on, oh my God, I need to get more money, I need to think of other ways, like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of like being so hard on yourself, be grateful for how far, because when you really reflect, I feel like you can, that's really what keeps you hungry. You know what I'm saying? Because
Yeah.
if you focused on what you don't have yet, you're just thinking in a negative instead of like, dang, I remember I was doing hair in the kitchen and then wash people hair in the sink, and now I'm here. So it's like, oh dang, well, I came from that to this, then I can go from this to that. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So to me, that's more motivating, you know what I'm saying, to keep yourself hungry and keep wanting more. So I think that's important for people too, because I think people do not take it in enough. People will tell me like, Bridget, I'm so proud of you. I'll be like, you are? Like, I'm like, I'm just winging it. But I think sometimes you don't take it in. You know what I'm saying? Like you just going.
Yeah. I when I used to do the gold teeth, I thought it was gonna be easy. I was like, okay, all I gotta do is make the mold and send it off. Went to a couple of dental supply stores. First thing they asked me, "Are you a dentist?" Nah, I'm not doing dental work. I'm just making the mold. Oh, we can't sell it to you if you're not a dentist. Three of them told me this.
Wow.
The last one I went to, I walked in there and I was like, look, I am not a dentist. I'm not doing dental work. I just
Yeah.
need to be able to make the mold. I need the equipment to make the mold. He said, you got money? And I was like, yeah. He was like, I don't give a fuck if you're a dentist or not. He
Mm-hmm.
was like, if you're ready to buy today, we can talk. Gave me everything I needed. And with that day, I was up and running. And like I said, like friends would tell me I couldn't do it until I was pulling down good money every month. But I was also up till 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning with customers because that gold teeth, those are thugs. Them niggas ain't got a bedtime. Them niggas is knocking at your door whenever.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting there crawling into work sleepy.
Yeah.
My boss, white guy, he was like, "Yo, you look tired." I was like, "Yeah, man, I got my business. I'm working my business all night." He's like, "Oh, get some rest." He's like, "You good?" And I was
Mm-hmm.
like, and everybody who, like you said, the people in my who should be in my corner, my closest people, telling me, "Nah, I can't do it."
Yeah.
So, but yeah, just everybody, no matter what your goals are this year, no matter what your dream is, just start moving towards it,
Yeah.
and don't stop moving until either you hit a wall that's immovable
Mm-hmm.
or you make it. Those are your
Right.
only two things that's gonna stop you.
Yeah. And don't listen to nobody projecting no fears onto you. Like, in order to do something that's never been done within your friend group, your family, your lineage, you can't listen to them. They're
Right.
not gonna know. They're not gonna understand. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be around like-minded people. They're gonna understand. They're gonna pour into you. They're gonna give you the knowledge. Like, don't let people project onto you because you'll never have nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, listening to people, trying to stop you from, chasing your dreams.
I met this dude who I was trying to get him to invest in a business venture that I wanted to go into.
Mm-hmm.
Multi-millionaire. And he, even after I laid out my business plan to him, he was like, it's not something that I can invest in. And I was cool with that. It's his money. I get it.
Right.
But the one thing that he kept saying to me was, don't get stuck in a 9 to 5 mentality.
Mm-hmm.
He was like, every day that you punch that clock, make sure that that's the day that you're saying, I am one day closer to no longer punching somebody else's clock. He was like, the longer you stay in that 9 to 5 mentality, the longer you will want to be a 9 to 5 person. And he like I said, he's a multi-millionaire. When he came to pick me up to go to lunch so I can show him my business plan, he showed up in a Bentley, and that's the first time I've ever been in a Bentley in my life.
Yeah.
His own mother told him that what he was going because he got into real estate. His own mother told him, "Go to work. You got kids to feed. Go to work."
Yeah.
And he was like, "I got kids to feed, but I don't want to go to work no more. I don't want to
Yeah.
do somebody else's job."
Mm-hmm.
So, and now he got more money than I could probably spend in a lifetime.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. So what we got? We doing unhealed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, one of my topics is the weight of other people's unhealed wounds. Um, so like, just like to get into that a little bit, just like, and I don't know if you like could speak on it or if you ever experienced it. Like, it's basically, to sum it up, it's like people bleeding onto other people. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, oh, I'm going through something and now I'm bleeding onto everyone around me. Have you ever experienced it? Do you feel like you're that type of person yourself? Is it something you struggle with? You know what I'm saying? If you are that type of person, um,
So there was definitely a time when I allowed other people to cut me, and everybody who came in contact with me after that, I bled on. So I
mm-hmm,
definitely, I would take wounds, and I felt like I was intentionally getting with people, like getting with a woman, so that somebody else can feel my blood, basically. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And I've had people do it to me, definitely. And I've also told people, like, just because somebody else had to deal with something, until they heal, this may not be the season for y'all to be together.
yeah,
Let them heal first, because as long as they're unhealed, as long as they're constantly bleeding, it's gonna always damage no matter what you all try to do together. And you can be as understanding as you want to be. I remember I held somebody through what they probably considered was the worst thing. They separated from their husband, and husband cheated on them, and I'm, trying to console them until I realized, and I probably realized way too late, I can't heal a wound that I didn't cause.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't, there was nothing I could do, and as much as like I would sit there and let them cry, and I would have friends going, "There's no damn way a woman that I'm trying to get with is going to be crying over another man." And I was like, "Yeah, but I'm trying to, know what I'm saying, help her through the situation."
Yeah.
But I never realized I couldn't. It wasn't my wound to heal.
It's not your assignment. That's what people have told me before. Like, God did
Yeah,
not that assignment, you know.
yeah,
Um,
it's definitely not.
yeah. I personally don't feel like I'm that type of person. Now that's not to say I don't ever get moody and stuff like that or get irritable, but I'm not really the type of person that if someone treats me some type of way, I'll go treat the next person a certain type of way just because this person
Mhm.
done treated me some type of way.
Yeah.
Um, I feel like last year, I feel like I kept feeling like I was people's punching bag. I'm not gonna hold you. I'm not,
Mm. Mm.
so I'm like, I came into this year like I'm not being nobody's punching bag no more. I'm gonna punch the fuck back. So, but um, no, I think, and it's not to say because I have stuff I have to work on. You know what I'm saying? But one thing it's just never really been in my nature to use other people as my punching bags. Like, oh, I'm irritated. This lady was rude to me today, so let me go be rude to everybody I come in contact with. No, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like people be doing it to me, and I'm like, it's only so much that somebody can take when it
Hmm.
just feels like everyone's using you as a punching bag because y'all ain't doing the work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Um, and so I just feel like, and just like you spoke on, like people who are unhealed, it's like I'm pretty sure it's not intentional, right? But you're going to really push good people out your life. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? They're healed people that could possibly help heal you, just like you were saying you couldn't do it. You know what I'm saying? But to me, if you have like really grounded people around you that have done the work, you know what I'm saying, it's trying to be supportive. Um, by you not trying to heal and then you taking that same wound, that same hurt and putting onto someone who didn't hurt you, you're robbing yourself of good people. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? If anything, you should get rid of the people that's causing you to hurt, you know what I'm saying, so you can heal, and then be around other people that are supportive and pouring to you just like you were pouring to them, you know.
Yeah.
But because I think what I've learned, I'm just like, I'm tired of being people's punching bag. And it's like to a point where it's like when you keep being people's punching bag, you at a point you have to protect your peace, and it's
Yeah.
like, I
Yeah.
love you, but I can't be around you. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I can't keep getting treated like that, when I didn't do nothing to you. Now, if I did something to you, okay, but like, it's at a point where it's like, I see you're hurting. I want to help you. I want to be supportive, but I can't keep taking the punches from what somebody else did,
Yeah.
um,
And you're right. You can't sacrifice your own peace because of what somebody else went through with someone else. Like, you're so far removed from that issue, it has nothing to do with you. And you can try to be there and be supportive. But if they're swinging, eventually you got to duck out. You can't just keep taking the punches.
right.
And it's guys are notorious for, because our ego is not, we don't take hurt real well. Our egos don't deal well with hurt, and we're quick to, oh, so I got cheated on, so now I'm just gonna become a hoe. You know what I'm saying? I'm just gonna go out there. But like you said, like, you rob yourself of good people. Like the next woman that come into your life, she might have been the one, but because you never took time to yourself to figure out, okay, what happened with that relationship, what caused her to cheat, or was it me? And as long as you don't sit back and try to figure that out, you
Mm,
can't just jump on the next person because you're gonna take everything you got from over here and dump it over here.
yeah.
Um, and women have to deal with that a lot, unfortunately, um, where guys are dealing with, because we don't a lot of guys don't do the mental health things that need to be done.
And
They don't go talk to somebody.
yeah. And it's women too. Honestly, I feel like this past year it was it's like men and it's women too. But I think it's like people who aren't willing to do the work. You know what I'm saying? It's
Hmm.
like either it's like the misery love company type thing. Like you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And it's like either because you don't know how to in place boundaries.
Hmm.
That's something I see too. I've seen within women because you don't know how to in place boundaries. When you don't in place boundaries with people, and you overextend yourself with people because you're not placing boundaries, then you grow to resent them. So now you want
Hmm.
to be mad at the whole world because you're so mad that you know what I'm saying, you can't in place this boundary with this person over here, and so now I'm mad at the whole world because I feel one way about the situation, like I want to stand on business with the situation, but I can't. So now I'm just mad, you know. But I definitely feel like men, but I feel like it's women too. You know what I'm saying? I feel like
Yeah.
it's anyone who isn't willing to set boundaries, learn how to process their emotions, not willing to do the shadow work of healing and stuff like that. And I feel like personally it's both men and women. I'm so, and even this past year, I think I've seen men do it, but it's like I've seen more women do it. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Yeah,
Mm.
and that I don't know because it's like I'm not no tit for tat type person. I trying to be a better person. But I don't know. Like I want everybody to heal and be happy. We're not always gonna be happy. You feel me? But
Hmm.
I just think we shouldn't hold on to the things that is like hurting us and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Look at every day, like, because I even caught myself doing that one day. Something pissed me off, and the next one I'm like, this fucking bitch. And then I was like,
Yeah.
Bridget, that was yesterday. That was yesterday. We not ready to do this. Like we just woke up, like not ready to do this. But yeah, I don't know. I definitely just feel like people. But it's like, what do you do, Don, when people aren't willing to do the work? You know what I'm saying? It's some people that will. I'm never going to a therapist. Why would I talk to somebody like, you know what I'm saying? But then you have some people that go to therapists and they don't tell the honest truth. So you're not really going to
That's
heal.
the biggest thing.
You
That
know?
I would rather somebody say I'm not going. Um, what's up, Blow? I'd rather somebody say I'm not going to a therapist than go to the therapy session and waste their time because you're not being truthful. That's the biggest like you're not. No one can help you if you're not going to be honest with yourself because it's your healing.
Mm-hmm.
So you're lying to yourself because
Right.
no one else in the room cares.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I feel like a good therapist could catch it, but it's only if they really care. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
Yeah.
like, how many times does a person have to come into a session and they're pointing the finger at everybody but their goddamn self? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
I'm naturally like that. Like when people telling me, "Oh, he did this or she did that," well, what did you do? What did you do? Because they not about to just be flipping off for no reason. So what did you do? You know what I'm saying? And I feel like sometimes those people who don't want to take accountability that go in therapy, to me, I feel like a therapist should be able to be like, okay, well, you told me that it was her.
Right. What's
So
the common denominator?
exactly. Like, so I mean, the thing about it is, in order to heal, it's usually like you stepping into a mirror and you being real with yourself. It starts with that.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because you could be mad because this person did me this way and this person did me that, but you chose that person though. So
Yeah.
what part of you, what broken part of you decided to choose this person, and why did you feel like your self-worth was that low? You know what I'm saying? So ultimately, no, I'm not gonna say everything in your life, you know what I'm saying? Because if it's something from your childhood, you was a child, you can't control that, you know what I'm saying? But in adulthood, the people that you allowed into your life was your decision. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you have to look at yourself and say, why did I choose this type of person? But yeah, I don't know.
And
I
a,
feel
and a lot of times we're seeking out that type of person. Like it's not like we just
like,
attract negativity. Sometimes we're seeking the negative one, or we're seeking the one that
yeah.
needs help because we can fix everything. So sometimes we're actively looking for that, even though it's not consciously,
Mm-hmm.
but subconsciously. If you keep ending up with the same type of person,
Mm-hmm.
you got to sometimes look and see what about me says this is what I want in my life, because you're actively, because everybody has the option to say no. Even if somebody
Right.
approaches you,
Right.
you got the option to say no. But a lot of people see the problem.
Mm-hmm.
They know what the problem is. All of the red flags are there. And for some reason, that's the person that they want in their life, because either they think they can fix it,
Mm-hmm.
they think they're better than the person that other person was with last. Oh, I'm going to be better, so he's going to be better for me. No, 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 no. Sometimes the individual is just the individual.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes you got to say, what am I doing? Or what about me mentally says I got to seek out the most damaged person to be in my life, because they're only going to damage you.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, and I feel like that is, I'm not gonna say men, because it definitely happens to men. You know what I'm saying? When men get their heart broke by women that are using them or whatever the case may be. But you hear women say it all the time. Women be like, I'm such a good person. Like, why me? Why me? Why me? You know what I'm saying? And a lot of it has a lot to do with our own traumas and wounds that we're not healing because we keep choosing a
Mm-hmm.
toxic person even when we see that they're toxic. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So it's like, I'm a good person. I'm this. You are a good person. So why don't you believe that you deserve a good person? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I know what I give to people. So why don't you feel like you deserve what you give? In the moment that you see that someone's not giving you what you give, that should be like, okay, we're not compatible.
Yeah.
You're not my person, because I know how good I do people. So if you can't pour into me, then why am I gonna keep pouring into you? You know what I'm saying? But it's like that. It's trauma. It's that anxious attachment style. It's that, like, oh, like you said, I could fix them, and you know what I'm saying. They feel like they have to earn love, so let me overextend myself to show you like I'm worthy of you.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely. Um, I was with someone who was a honest to God bloodsucker. Like she was just draining me dry mentally,
Mm-hmm.
physically. Like I was just like, what the and it I had to say, I've seen this before, and I'm not gonna allow myself to go through this again.
Yeah.
Um, once I saw that one little twinge of I know what this is, and I'm not gonna put myself through that again. I was like, yo, I'm out. I can't. I can't. I don't need to give you a reason. I don't have to explain to you why you are the way you are. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and of course she was like, "Oh my God, you hurt me." No, 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 no. You hurt yourself. I'm good. I
Yeah.
had nothing to do with that pain that you caused yourself. But
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah.
Because it's there's so many hurt people in the world. That's why everybody say, "Oh my God, the dating pool is trash." Because there's so many hurt people in the world. But put that stuff on the table in the beginning. Like, this is what I'm willing to deal with. This is what I'm not willing to deal with. These are my hard stops. I don't care how good your smile is, how well you smell when you walk out the house. Here's my hard stops. And if you're going to drain me dry, if I got to spend more of my collateral to make you happy than you're going to do for yourself, I'm out. I can't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like people are all like, we're all a work in progress. We all got things we have to work on. But I feel like in order to really pursue relationships, it takes a level of emotional maturity. You know what I'm saying? Like, you cannot try to date anybody if you can't, be empathetic, if you can't take accountability, if you can't put yourself in your partner's shoes, you shouldn't even be attempting to try to get into a relationship if you lack those things. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Because that's not a relationship. That's gonna be selfishness. That's gonna be a lack of accountability. It's gonna be, I think the big things for me, the red flags I always look for be like the shift blaming. Like, if I bring something that's an issue, and am I perfect? If I bring an issue to you and you immediately like, you did this, I'm like, oh, okay, you shift blaming. And then you try to tell me I ain't hear what I heard, you gaslighting me. Like, um, so I feel like it's signs like that I'll be like, what I'm saying, if you talk to me a certain type of way, like, it's gonna be a telltale sign that it's like you lack emotional maturity. And at the end of the day, like I said, none of us are gonna be perfect. I will make mistakes, but if we can't take accountability and understand each other, then it's never gonna work. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, you're gonna continuously go in circles, so
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like people got to heal, not even just for the sake of a intimate relationship, but relationship with people around you. It could be your family members, it could be your friends. You're going to push people away from you if you don't heal, because you're ultimately taking that hurt out on other people.
For everyone, it seems like having discipline and not dating until you have self. Yeah, absolutely. Until you, nobody should date anybody until you have taken care of whatever pain you were
Right,
going through.
right,
Um, because like you said, you might miss out on the best thing that could ever happen to you because you haven't healed yourself, or like you haven't dealt with your own pains yet.
right.
Um, some people are lucky they find somebody that's willing to work through that pain with them, but not most people.
Yeah.
Not most
And
people. Most people
I
won't. They just
yeah,
won't.
I also think like people can't mistake, like, oh, well, I haven't dated for someone for this amount of time for a whole year, so now I'm ready. Like, no, like,
Hmm.
did you do the work? Like, did you self-reflect? Did you look in the mirror and be like, okay, what was my what role did I play in all of this? You know what I'm saying? Can
Hmm.
you be real with yourself and take accountability? You know, and like I said, also dig to the root of, why did I ever think this was acceptable? You know, um, talk to a therapist. You know what I'm saying? Like, get different perspectives from people. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I feel like the only way to really grow is to, people to even correct you sometimes, so it's like, if you don't have a solid friend group that can be real with you and be like, look, you ain't the best at communicating, like, you need to work on that, or I notice you self-sabotaging all the time, so you need to work on that. If you have a problem listening to your friends, then you definitely need a therapist, that can call out those things that you lack in, because if someone is not bringing it to your attention and you're not working on the things that other people notice, because a lot of the times, like, it it's not easy for us to notice the things that we lack within ourselves. It's usually the people on the outside looking in that could be like,
Hmm.
oh, I noticed you do this, like, no disrespect, I love you, but you be doing this all the time, like, and sometimes when your friends bring it to you, it's hard to hear. It's a tough pill to hear when the people closest to you tell you the things that you're lacking. So if you can't be teachable when it comes to your family and your friends and stuff like that, get a therapist, so they can sit there and say, I definitely see that you lack this, you lack that. How about we read this book or do this, and we're gonna help you work on it. You know what I'm saying? Just to become aware and actually, So yeah, I don't know.
Like I got a homegirl who she got divorced, I think 2 years ago. And know, talked to her, chopping it up on I think it was Facebook or whatever. And I was like, how's everything going? How you getting through everything? And the only things that she could say to me was, well, I haven't been there, I haven't dated anybody in 2 years, and I haven't had sex in 2 years, so I'm doing really great. And I was like, and everything in my mind wanted to be like, oh, okay, that's good. But then it was something in me that was like, no, that's not it. Okay, so you're lonely and you got a dry pussy, but you are not working on yourself. No, saying like you're doing the external things that is only harming you. What are you doing for yourself mentally? Like, what are you
Right,
doing to help you grow as a person so that the next person that comes along, it won't take you 3 or 4 years of being married to them before you realize, oh, this is not the person for me. You'll
right,
figure that shit out relatively quickly. You know what I'm
right,
saying? You'll figure it out fast. Just like like you said, you're not gonna be anybody's punching bag. So you're looking for those things, not in a negative way, but you're looking like, okay, is this person going to have my best interest at heart? If not, I don't need you around me for 6, 7, 8, 9 months, draining me dry mentally while I'm sitting there figuring out, yeah, maybe that first red flag was the only one I needed to see.
right,
So yeah, it was crazy. Like that was the two things she felt like if she did those two things, then life is grand. And I'm like, nah, that's not what you need to do to make life grand. You got
right,
to fix you, because you're just gonna be lonely. Like you can't swear off all people.
right. And
It-
and also like even with relationships, I feel like you hear people that be like, "Oh, I want a husband or I want a wife, or I want to be a wife and I want to be a husband," but it's like, are you the type of person that someone will want to be their wife or their husband? Are you acting like a husband? Do you showcase qualities of a husband? Do you showcase qualities of a wife? You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right,
And if you really look at it, it's like, you have to compromise. Like, you can't be like holding grudges or trying to punish your person when they're trying to voice concerns and stuff like that. Um so I feel like if those are things that people desire, like, oh, I desire to be a wife, I desire to be a husband, you have to also make sure that if you lack certain things that's going to require you to fit those roles, that you work on those. You know what I'm saying? Like,
hmm
if you're a selfish person, you're selfish, you can't go into a marriage being selfish, so
right.
you have to work on being selfless, so yeah, I think those is things that like people should really, work on, um, just to not, bleed onto other people that ultimately might love you and have your best interest.
Yep.
But so even with all of that, the last topic is, what reasons do people come into your life? And this could be friends or relationships. And the relationship side would be like, what reasons would people come into your life even if they're not your person? You know what I'm saying? So
hmm
say you're married now, Dawn, but prior to you being married, I'm pretty sure you had you've been, I know you've been married before, and you've had other relationships. Can you just give people like reasons that people might come into your life even though they might not be your person? Because I think sometimes people, specifically us women, I think we live in a fantasy land where we meet this is my husband. We like, this is my fucking husband, you know. But sometimes it's not. You know what I'm saying? Some of us women, we automatically think, for God walking into our life, he's it. But that's not
Nope.
always the case. I think sometimes God teaches us lessons through people. So what are some reasons you think that some people have came into your life even though they weren't your person, even if they were friends too?
So that's the first thing I was gonna say. You learn a lesson from things. Like, um, if nothing else, some people come into your life to teach you what not to accept from other people.
Yeah.
Um, you know, I've had people who I've called friend,
Mm-hmm.
and that friendship was either it was a totally one sided, like I was the friend and they were just for them. But that
Mm-hmm.
taught me to limit who you have around you. I used to keep a bunch of dudes around me. Like, you know what I'm saying? I used to keep my homies. Oh, those my boys. I had to realize, I only need a handful. And that handful got to be a solid handful. Um, I need people who, if I'm willing to do for you, you willing to do for me, I got you. You know what I'm saying? But the biggest lesson that I learned from a lot of people coming through my life, and I'm talking about like friendships, um, was what not to accept from people, and
Yeah.
to see people for who they are. If somebody shows you they're a snake, believe them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, don't wait for them to bite you. If they show you, believe
Yeah.
them.
Is there any like specific lessons you learned in any relationships, like outside of that friendship, like any like relationships? Is this something like a real powerful lesson that you felt like I learned dealing from this person?
Yes, a couple. But the biggest one was, don't let any if somebody biggest red flag, if somebody's trying to show you how they want to be treated by treating you a certain way, to me that's a red flag. Just tell me what you want and I'll let you know if I can fulfill that for you.
Right.
Um and I was with someone for a very long time, and then I realized the entire time all of the nice things they did for me was not because they wanted to do nice things for me. They was trying to show me how they wanted me to treat them.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, like, just tell me what you want. If I can do it, great, I'll tell you I can do it. If I can't, believe me when I say I can't, because I'm only going to try, but so much. Um love my wife dearly. My wife says, can you cook? Yes, I can cook. She don't always like to eat what I cook. I was like, so I can cook the things that I like to eat.
Mm-hmm.
You can cook a plethora of things. Like, you can go in the kitchen and you can look in the cabinet and see three ingredients, and you like, yo, we gonna make a meal out of this. I see three ingredients, and I'm like, I'm going to McDonald's. Like, it's you know what I'm saying. But I've definitely had women who've come in my life, um, and one of the biggest lessons was, um, don't let anyone pull from you what you don't have,
Yeah.
because you're just going to bleed yourself dry. um, my biggest thing is the emotional bank account. If somebody is constantly withdrawn from you emotionally,
Mm-hmm.
eventually you're not going to have the emotional wherewithal to be there for yourself.
Yeah.
um, so one of my biggest things, like with me and my wife right now, um, every so often, maybe once a month, twice a month, when we sitting there and just in a quiet moment, we'll say, what's your emotional bank account looking like? Do have I withdrawn too much from you? Do I need to deposit? But that simple question, um, if you're honest when you answer that question, that
Mm-hmm.
simple question will let somebody know I'm 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 at a negative point. I can't really be there for myself because I'm constantly pushing out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and when we ask each other that question, we're really honest with what we're going through, and it's not always your mate that might be depleting you. It may be people around you, but it's
Yeah.
your mate's responsibility to say, okay, how are you feeling? Like, what's your emotional bank account looking like? My wife told me, you pour into everybody else. Who pours into you?
Right.
And I never thought about it that way,
Mm-hmm.
because I just felt like it was my duty. Like, I feel like stupid way of thinking. I'm a man. I'm supposed to take the punches. I'm a man. But she was like, no, like, who's pouring back into you? Because she can only pour into me, but so much. She still got to maintain her emotional bank account.
Right.
So she can't replace in me what other people have depleted.
Right. Right. Yeah.
So when she said like who's pouring back into you, and I was like, wow, not many. Besides her, not many.
Hmm. Yeah.
So one of the biggest things I learned was don't let anybody suck you dry. You know what I'm saying? Don't allow it. Um,
Yeah.
and I know like, and I'm gonna let you tell your story, but I know you absorb people's emotions. You know what I'm saying? And you're sympathetic to them. So you know what I'm saying, you're constantly trying to be there for people.
Hmm.
But sometimes somebody got to ask you the same question that was asked to me: who's pouring back into you?
Right.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
And I think that's how it definitely is with like the strong person. That's honestly how I've been feeling lately. I was talking to somebody recently about that. I feel like it was actually my client last night. I was just telling her like I just been doing a lot of reflection, and I'm like I'm always there for everyone. I'm always this, and it's like it's just my mom raised me to be that way. Just treat people how you want to be treated. So it's like I try to be a good friend because I want good friends. I try to be a good sister because I want my sisters to be good to me. Like I want to be there for them so they can be there for me when I need it. Um, or whoever else it is. And sometimes the strong one is like you're the one always like, being the ear to listen and give advice to. And a lot of times when you going through your darkest moments, you really don't have nobody but God to turn to.
Yeah.
Um, but back to what you were saying though, like I think some things that I did notice too is some people try to like buy your love. This is
Oh
something
yeah.
that it kind of relates to me, but not in that sense of like buying my love, but like one of a little trauma for me is it's like a trauma response. I don't like people doing things for me because I feel like the few times that I've allowed people to do stuff for me, they do it in my face. And it's like triggering to me, because of the fact that I think I never felt like I really like could ask people. I'm very prideful. I'm very prideful. Like I will go without before I ask anybody for shit, you know. So, and it's not to say that I ask anybody for shit, but the moment people like they do something for me, it's like, you know what I'm saying? That's why like if I go out with my friends, we're arguing about who paying the tab because it's just like, no, I'll pay my own bill. I don't want you paying for my stuff. I can't say it enough. And of course, my male friends they like stop arguing with me about this, and I'm like, no, like I don't. And I even explained it to one of my male friends recently. I'm like, no, because like I the times that I have let people do stuff for me, they literally have thrown it right back in my face. And I just don't like that feeling, because if I'm ever around people, it's not because I need you to do something for me. I'm not around you because I'm trying to take from you. I'm trying to use you. Like I genuinely
Hmm.
fuck with you. So if somebody like has that mentality and then you do a nice gesture or something and then you throw it in my face, it's like that is very hurtful. So and that's not my intention ever. Like I
Right.
don't need to use nobody for nothing. Like I know it's easier said than done because it's like anybody can just say something, and be like, all right, you say that, but you probably be using people. It's really not my character. So yeah, it's hurtful if I let somebody do something and it's like you throwing in my face like as if I'm trying to use you. Yeah, that's real triggering for me. I think other things that I've learned from people, a real toxic relationship in the past. And I think I talked about this before. I'm low key grateful for that toxic relationship because it showed me everything I don't want in somebody. Everything. I'm like, no. And I'm not gonna lie, I think some of the traits, even though it's no love lost, like what I'm saying, it's not, I don't wish no ill will. And that's how you heal too, when you don't wish ill will on people that
Yeah.
done you dirty. I love y'all. Like, um, but it's just like so many things I've learned in that toxic situation that I'm just like, it's too many red flags that it's like, okay, not to say that like I meet the next person, I'm like waiting for you to do these things, but when I see you do something, I can acknowledge it right off the
Yeah.
bat, you know. Um, and I've said that before, so it's like I'm grateful for that. The same thing with the friends, you know what I'm saying? You notice when you showing up and a friend ain't, showing up. So I learned to stop being a people pleaser, stop overextending myself, set boundaries with people. And that was something I worked on last year with my therapist, which I'm like extremely grateful for, because I think being just a natural giver and a nurturer, like I always just want to take care of the people that I love, but sometimes people do take advantage of that, so that was like one thing that I really was grateful that I worked on, like my boundaries and stuff like that. And then also like in a positive one, it's like I dated someone a long time ago, and even though it didn't work out, I think like when he came into my life, I think he gave me like a lot of reassurance that I feel like a lot of people don't
Hmm.
get. Like I feel like yeah, some people around me give it to me, but I feel like I talked to you about this before, but like in previous toxic relationships, I feel like sometimes, or even it could be even friendships, I feel like people try to humble you. You know what I'm saying? They won't be like, "Oh,
Hmm.
you're beautiful, you're this, you're that." So, in one relationship, this guy that I don't know if you consider a relationship. I was dating him a long time ago, but it's like when he came into my life, and I felt like it was very genuine, but he gave me a lot of reassurance, and it was something that I feel like I needed to hear that. So I think even though people don't be your person, it don't always have to be bad. You know what I'm saying? Some people
Yeah.
can't come in your life even if they're not, y'all are not aligned in certain things. But that all of those things come in a factor into molding you into who you are. You know what I'm saying? Because if I only dated people that put me down and made me question my worth and made me question whether I'm beautiful, you know what I'm saying? I would only believe that. But I'm grateful to the guy that did come into my life and like, you're beautiful, you're this, you're talented, and poured all that into me, because that just be like, okay, that just be like, I'm okay, like I'm not what they try to say I was. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And it molded me like, no, like whole time y'all wanted me to believe that I wasn't nothing, you know. But I am, like, and I think you just take all of those little lessons throughout your life as you get older, and it molds you into like being stronger and more wiser.
And there are definitely times when someone will come in your life, and I've been this person, and I've had people who come into my life for the same purpose, just like you said, to build me up.
Yeah.
Um, my thing has always been, I may not have always been the best boyfriend, but I'm never gonna leave you lower than I met you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm always gonna try to let you know you may be too good for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you're a good person. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
you may be better than I deserve. And
Yeah.
maybe that's why I'm messing up the damn relationship. But
Mhm.
understand, like you're a good person.
Yeah.
Um, and one person that comes to mind, relationship had really no problems. Like we didn't have problems. I was the problem in the relationship, but I would always try to tell her, no saying like, I don't care what you've gone through, those were lies. Like you're a good person. Like everything about you is good.
Yeah.
But I knew, even though I never said it verbally, I knew in
Mhm.
the back of my mind she was too damn good for me to be with. At that time, I was
Yeah.
a shithead.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm saying, like, you got to be honest with yourself sometimes and say, you know what? I may only be here just to let them know that they're good, and this I got to walk away
Mhm.
because I may pull that goodness away from them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I may be the drain.
Yeah.
So, and I had to walk away from her, and till this day, I haven't seen her in God years. But if I was to see her, we're still on good terms. Like We didn't we didn't walk away from each other, cursing each other out.
Yeah.
The last time I saw her, she had just had a daughter. She was getting ready to get married. Um, and she was like, this was supposed to be us. And I was like, no, it wasn't. I was like, this is supposed to be you and him.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Everything that you have with him right now is exactly what you're supposed to have. He gave you your daughter. You have a beautiful relationship, getting ready to get married. I said, nah, this is what was supposed to be for y'all two. I
Yeah.
wasn't that guy.
Yeah.
Once again, like I
Right.
said, I was a shithead. I was
Yeah.
I was the
Yeah.
worst.
Still had, growing to do,
A lot of growing.
Yeah.
um, and I've had women who saw things in me that I didn't see in myself too.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and that was the weird thing when someone is telling you something about yourself, and you're like, "Are you talking about me?" You know what I'm saying, like, because I don't see the things that you see.
Yeah.
Um, I had this. I had a dead end job at one point. I mean, worse than dead end, and complained about the job every single day. I would see this girl, and she was like, "So quit. Like, you have the intelligence, you can do another job, but as long as you're there, you can't go on interviews. You're not applying because you already got a job. Quit.
Right.
Put your
Right.
back against the wall and force yourself to fight out." And once I did that, like I literally walked off the elevator at work, and I was like, "Yo, I can't do this shit no more. I quit. I'm out." And they looked at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with this nigga?" And I was like, "I'm not. I can't do this." But after that, every job that I went for,
Mm-hmm.
the thing that would echo in the back of my head was, is this job good enough for you? Not, are you good enough for this job? Will
Right.
this job fit you as a person?
Facts. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I had
Yeah.
somebody tell me I was better than what I thought I was.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I tell people that too, like, when some of my clients go on job interviews, and they be like, "Oh yeah, they asked me did I have any questions. I didn't have any questions." I'm like it's more about you than it is them. Like,
Right.
I'm like, first of all, and then and this is something, not to go into a lesson, but this is something that is like things that I never played about. Like when I was in the workforce, if I'm going into an interview, my questions would always be, do I get an increase yearly, or do
Mm-hmm.
y'all just give increases when y'all feel like it? And
Right.
also, are y'all increases based on performance, or do I just get what everybody else gets? You know, and
Mm.
some people take jobs and never ask these questions, and then you're like, I've been here for 5 years and I haven't got a raise. Well, you never asked. You never made sure that was a requirement. And before you decided to take this and make it your livelihood,
Yeah.
Um, so and me personally, I'm like, I need to increase every year. And I need my increase to be based on my performance, because I know that I work my ass off. You know what I'm saying? I
Right.
know I'm going to work my ass off more than the next people next to me. So they not about to get the same thing I get, and I know how much work I put in. You know, so those, I feel like those things is very important. Like when it comes to jobs, and that's a good thing that she helped you with that.
And it's crazy because I just had an interview about a month or so ago. I was interviewing for a supervisor position.
Mm-hmm.
And after the second interview, I was like, yeah, I don't want this position. Like, it's not going to fit me.
Yeah.
And one of the first things I was like, so what's the raise like from my current pay to there? And it was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, it's 5% out. At that moment, 5%, I was like, nah, I'm out. I'm good.
Yeah.
So the third interview, I was like, I literally blew the interview on purpose because I didn't want the job. And I was
Yeah.
like, if I don't get this, I'm not going to cry. I'm good. Like, I'll go back to my desk. I'm not. And she looked at me like, who says that in the interview? And I was like, somebody who don't want the job.
Yeah.
Because 5% is not enough for me to take on more responsibility.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
I mean, I wouldn't necessarily blew it, because for real, the last job I was at, when I went into the interview, and I think I had a second interview, they was not trying to give me the pay that I wanted. and they're like, they want to, and I really wasn't working. I was, at that time, I was doing Lyft on the side and doing hair on the side. And I think it was like a month and a half. They called me like, hey, are you still looking for a job? Yes, I am. Are y'all willing to pay me what I want to get paid? Yes, we'll pay you. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't necessarily, blow the interview. Look, desperate times come for desperate measures, because even with my last job, they knew I was qualified, and they used a certain system that I use that system. So they're like, dang, if we hired her, we wouldn't even have to, she knows this system inside out. So it's like, you never know. You might get a call back and they be like, oh, we got your money, double that, triple that, and a bonus every year, you know.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing. The position that I basically turned down without turning it down, it's still open.
And you never know.
They had 12 applicants, all from outside the company.
Mm-hmm.
And that position is still open. And like, I just feel like if I'm going to take on more responsibility now, I'm also not good at saying, okay, well, this is what you're offering. This is what I want. Because I'm like, if y'all not going to give it to me, like, I shouldn't have to beg for it. You know what I'm saying? Like, either y'all going to give it to me but that's my, because my wife is totally different. Like, she walks into an interview and she's like, whatever they give her, she asks for more. Like, even if they was giving her exactly what she wanted, she asked for more. And I'm like, I just never been that person. Like, either you gonna give it to me or
you gonna let somebody else tell you your worth though?
Never thought about it that way.
Yeah.
Never thought about it that way.
But even at my one job, when we would have our performance reviews, and I know how much work I was taking on, and I seen what they were trying to give me, and they like, Bridget, what do you want? Like, how much do you want? This is not enough. No, I know how valuable I am. You're not gonna tell me. Like, and then the supervisor, she's like, Bridget, you got more of an increase than I did this year. Like, and you sit on your ass all day. Like,
right.
So it's like, no, no one can tell me what I'm worth, So yeah, you gotta negotiate it. You gotta negotiate it in the beginning. You gotta negotiate it during your performance reviews, And I personally don't think no one should ever take a job without making sure you get an increase every single year. And I would specifically say offer your performance, especially if you know that you're a good worker, if you take pride in what you do, because the thing is, that's exactly why you can negotiate your pay. You know what I'm saying? Like, I come in there, I show up on time, I bust my ass. Okay, we're doing my performance, review. And yeah, I expect this increase. I'm not getting 50 cents, $1 like that person who don't do nothing all day. You know what I'm saying? So that's where you can really like negotiate with people. And then the thing is, if you're the hardest worker in the room, they not gonna want to lose you. You know what I'm saying? So you go on an interview, even if they like, oh, we're not giving you more than this or whatever, you go on an interview, and it's gonna be a job that knows your worth straight off of the first time. You go put in your 2 weeks. That's when your job really gonna be. No, wait. All right. Wait. We cannot lose you, Dawn. Yeah, you got to negotiate, but you can never let these jobs. Don't be wrong, because people got bills to pay. But even with that said, it's too many other ways to get money until you really set yourself in a position where it's like, because when you work a new job, you on a 90-day probation period. You can't start looking for going on interviews in a 90-day probation period. So that's also why I don't believe people should take jobs that don't fit them. You know what I'm saying? Just to be like, oh, well, I needed
just to say I need a job.
Exactly. Yeah. That's not going to get you nowhere, because for 90 days, you have to show up. You can't be late. You can't take no time off. Like, you're not going to have time to go on interviews to look for another job in that 90-day probation period. If a job don't suit you, just don't take it, and you never know. You'll get a call back. If not, you're going to find something that, suits you. So, yeah.
Yeah. I've never thought about that having somebody tell you what I'm worth. I just feel like, let's not play games. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm
But
not
they
about to
play
beg you for
games
more
though,
money.
Don.
Like,
You gotta think they're gonna be like, I need the most qualified, the hardest worker for the cheapest price. They want to make you a slave. That's what they try to do to us. You know what I'm saying?
and
So
that's what they found out it wasn't me because I was like, nah, I'm
exactly.
good. Like, I was like, my desk is fine. Where I'm at right now is fine. Like,
Yeah,
I don't need more responsibility for what y'all trying to give me.
right.
Um, and then also when you do go, and this is going out for anything, when you go to do something, make sure that you're walking into a better situation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I know sometimes it's hard, like you hope for the best. You know what I'm saying? Like you go into a situation and hope for the best, but I've taken promotions or lateral promotions and I could have stayed where the hell I was and had a better life. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so make sure that you're walking into a better situation. The job market is crazy right now. I would really much rather go back into business for myself at this point because the job market is just so horrible. So
Yeah.
that your current employers are thinking, well, I can pretty much say and do what I want because ain't no jobs out there for them.
Right.
Like where are you going other than here? Like right now, you get a steady paycheck. You gonna risk this? So like, there's been a lot of times over the last, I'd say probably 6 or 8 months that I've been really thinking about what can I do to go back into business for myself. Like what what's my passion at this point in life? Because it's not jewelry no more. I can't do that no more.
Mm-hmm.
But what can I do to set myself up so that when I punch a clock, it's my clock. Now I might be punching more hours, but I also control my pay based on those hours. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like you can go to work and work 16 hours. All they're gonna do is give you time and a half. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? But if you put your time and your energy into your own business, you grow your business. You can't
Right.
grow a job. The job
Right.
is only going to have a box. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't grow outside of that box, but your own business, you can definitely do that. So
Yeah.
yeah, a couple of things that I'm looking at. Like over the next year, I may make a lot of changes.
I think everyone should have some type of side hustle because the thing about it is you never know if a job lay you off, you know what I'm saying, due to like,
Mhm.
downsizing or whatever the case may be. And you always want to have something that you can fall back on, you know.
Yeah,
And
yeah, absolutely.
it could just be a side or eventually you turn that into a full blown business, but just like you said, like your job is like they control how much you make. When a business, don't get me wrong, starting off it's up and down. Like, it is
Oh
risk,
yeah,
but you also have a chance to make more money than you ever made at a job. You know what I'm saying? Working
yeah,
for yourself, so that's a possibility there too, but I think everyone should have some type of side hustle. I think it's just too much stuff out here, too many trades, too many things that people can do to make money.
and everybody has something. God has put something into all of us
Yeah,
that's exclusively ours. Like
yeah,
it's not to be used to help somebody else's business, like to go to punch a clock every day.
right.
Sometimes you just need that job to learn that business so you can go do it yourself.
Yeah,
Now I'm not talking about a major corporation. Like you ain't gonna walk into AT&T and be like, I know cell phones now. I'm gonna go start my own cell phone company. Okay, maybe not. That's a little,
yeah.
but
But like little stuff like landscaping,
mm-hmm.
like snow removal. Like I'm
Yeah,
thinking, you know what I'm saying? Like you buy you a lawnmower, a weed whacker, you know what I'm saying? Go make some business cards, take pride in it, take before and after pictures, promote yourself on social media. Next thing you know, you got a whole team. You got people covering zip codes full of people doing their landscaping for them, snow removal for older people that can't physically do that. It's just too much stuff out here, you know.
yeah,
Um and all it takes is just sometimes a small investment, you know what I'm saying, like, yeah. But I think everybody should be doing something something
yeah.
something you
There's
know
always a hustle. You know what I'm saying? Like
Mhm.
there's always something that you can do outside of what you your box, outside of your box that you can do that can help you get ahead. Because if we're relying on our companies that we work for right now, that shit is so shaky right now. Um, Freaking UPS, one of the biggest delivery companies in the world, just had to lay off people. Um, and so many other companies are laying off people left and right.
Mm-hmm.
And you're literally dodging layoffs like, oh, they didn't get me this time. Whew, I wonder if they're gonna get me next time. So have a side hustle. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like do something that can put you in a position where even if you lose your current job, your back is not totally against the wall. You got some breathing room. You was able to build up a bank account so where while you're getting things settled, you can breathe.
Yeah.
Um,
Me and my client is crazy because we were talking about like Black Wall Street and stuff like that. And
mhm.
um you gotta think, and we also was talking about like Malcolm X, which I really didn't learn about Malcolm X until like 6 years ago. I know it sounds ignorant, but yeah. Then I
No, it's
learned
okay. It's
into it.
okay.
But the stuff that I was learning, but you gotta think like even back in to slavery, you know what I'm saying? Like we worked for them for free, and then it was the sharecroppers, and so basically like working for the man is just like modern day slavery. The reason why they tore down Black Wall
Mhm.
Street, the reason why they assassinated Malcolm X is because they did not want us to be strong enough to sustain our own businesses, because ultimately
Mhm.
who's going to work for them?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's really what they were trying to stop. They're trying to keep us slaves, you know.
Yeah.
So it's just like we have the we have the access and the resources to take that back. I think we need to stop getting on social media and comparing like, oh, they got these shoes, they got this car, they got this. You know what I'm saying? And take a small investment. Like I don't care if it's you start your own, janitorial services where you go in a warehouse cleaning them up, because yeah, it might start off by you doing these things, but then it's gonna turn into a whole company that you got a whole team and now you the boss, you
Right.
know. So yeah, I feel like this year I really challenge people, start y'all side hustles. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And also pour back into your community. I'm not telling you to ignore bad customer service or nothing like that, because we do have people in all areas, all communities, what I'm saying, who lack poor customer service, but support people who support you, you know what I'm saying, and pour into those good businesses, so that we can keep, striving.
And a lot of people don't realize that their customer service is bad. So sometimes you just gotta let them know, hey, I want to give you my business, but I'm not going to be abused doing so. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
and you may open their eyes up to something that they don't realize they're doing.
Yeah.
Um, Blow TV, that's starting your own production company is actually an excellent idea. Right now, the world is controlled by social media and YouTube, so everybody wants to get out there. Everybody wants to put a show together. So starting your own production company is not a bad idea. I say go for it, bro.
Mhm. Yeah.
Um, but yeah, like biggest things for everybody to take away from tonight's show. Well, a couple of big things. Don't let anybody suck you dry. You know what I'm saying? Like, be careful of who you have in your orbit. Be careful of who you listen to and who you tell your dreams to.
Yeah.
Because not everybody that's praying is praying for you. Some people are praying against you. Um, and be cognizant of the lessons that people teach you. Like, you know what I'm saying? When somebody comes into your life, it's a lesson or a blessing. Um, and take it as such. If that's not your long-term person, figure out what the lesson was that they came into your life to teach you, because everybody comes to teach you a lesson, whether it be a good
Mhm.
one or a bad one. So take those lessons to heart, and make sure y'all tune in, because the biggest lesson is we need y'all to tune in so that we can keep doing this and get money. So
Thanks.
tune in, people. But until next Wednesday, we will see y'all then.
Yeah.
If you got a New Year's resolution, keep it to yourself, move more, speak less. So until next Wednesday, I'm Don.
If anybody want us to talk about, just write us and let us know.
Absolutely, drop a topic to us. We'll talk about it. As you notice in the chat, everybody gets involved. So if you got a topic that you want us to talk about, let us know. We'll definitely be more than happy to put that shit out there for y'all. Mm-hmm. But we'll see y'all next Wednesday, same time, people.
This is Love, Sex, and Society with Bridget and Don. Please like, subscribe, and share.